Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another session of Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem, Requiem for London. Tonight, we'll be looking at the lovely little borough of Kingston upon Thames, an area that officially is Order Recall territory, but unofficially is basically under the control of the Carthians. Or to put it more precisely, there doesn't seem to be any real Order Recall presence there. Since things have been going, at least apparently, better for one Marcus Irons than was to be expected, he has got himself comfortable on a street not too far away from a few pubs, strumming away on his guitar, playing a tune, and occasionally people come across, and even more occasionally somebody tosses a coin in his direction. Marcus himself, for those that haven't met him yet, is a 45-year-old looking gentleman, mostly British, but there is something in his mixture. Middle Eastern? Persian? Who could say? But yes, the man himself is sitting on a box, strumming away on his guitar. And currently he's actually playing A Horse with No Name by the band America. And that is where we'll let our new player introduce herself.
Very well. A new figure who has not been seen around town before enters into the pub where Marcus is playing and stops, recognizing the song. They half smile and listen as he plays, humming along. They don't put in money, but being near him, there's just something appealing about their presence so that people are paying more attention to both of them. That way Marcus is getting more money, even though it's not from the figure.
Yep, that's happening along. Just let me quickly do a performance check. That would be Dex performance in his case, just so that I can better describe how well or badly the character's playing the song. And you know what? Because it's A Horse with No Name, Marcus is burning the willpower.
Reasonable.
And with 3 successes, I can say with a good conscience, he's performing it not only just okay, but he's actually performing it quite well. There is even on some of the text, some of the notes, the emphasis, there seems to be some real resonance with the text in the song. He's doing a bloody good rendition.
Yeah, with 3 successes, I would say so. At the end of the song, the figure nods politely and applauds a little. That was very good. Better than I normally hear from strangers playing in a pub.
Thank you, thank you. Too kind. Uh, as before, he would have stand up and given the crowd a bow. He looks into the hat and goes, better than usual. And he just pockets the coins in one of his side pockets. Puts on the somewhat battered black leather cowboy hat. Can't remember seeing your face around here. But hey, doesn't have to mean anything. My name is Marcus, and he offers a hand.
They take the hand, give it a nice firm shake. My name is Eleanor. Most people call me Lenny, and I'm new. Just arrived in town recently.
Yeah. I've already done my set for tonight, so shall we retire into one of the slightly more private booths?
I think that sounds like an excellent idea.
He takes a six-string, a sports bag, and he moves away from the thing. Gives the bartender a nod, and they get into the most shady and only look-inable from one direction chairs and tables that they can find. He puts his stuff on the side and goes, new to the city.
I am, in fact.
May I ask how many winters you've already seen? As some of my gangrel friends would say.
A little over a dozen.
Okay, that's more than me. I've barely got my first winter behind me.
Nothing wrong with that. We all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so. Out of character, for Julian, they are currently in just some no-name bar in Kingston upon Thames. Officially Orderdrakul territory, but unofficially, yeah, we know the Carthians are there and nobody really gives a damn. Bless you.
Thank you.
Feel free to intro.
Oh, yes. Wait, where are we again? Sorry, I'm distracted trying to get this thing to work.
If you want, we can continue our scene a little bit, and once you're ready, you know.
Yeah, you guys keep going. Sorry, I didn't.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so he goes, yeah, cool. I guess we should get the formalities out of the way. If you promise me to give me a family name, I'd be willing to give you mine as well.
Certainly. The only family name that I claim is Hollins.
Hollins. Very nice. Hollins. American by any chance?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Fair enough. Me, as already before, Marcus, Irons. And yeah, I'm a right Cockney geezer. Yeah, I was actually born in the city of London, so yeah, I can actually pull that one off. A member of the Order Drakul, and a very humble member of Clan Ventru, yata yata yata. He just does a hand gesture, obviously not taking that part terribly serious.
And I am a member of Clan Deva, part of the Carthian movement.
Fair enough, then you're just in the right territory, although I'll give you a heads up. Officially, this is Ordo territory. Unofficially, there's hardly any Ordo presence here, so nobody seems to really mind. Plus, I know my higher-ups don't really give that much of a hoot for this borough, so you're okay.
Good. Trespassing on one's introduction seems like a bad way to start off.
Absolutely. But then again, if nobody tells you, how the hell are you supposed to know?
That is also very true.
Yeah. And by the way, let's just say the local Carthians and I, we're on good terms. So, yeah.
Then it seemed I stumbled across just the right person to meet.
It would seem so, at least according to some kindred. It would not seem so according to other kindred. But then again, some people are horribly superstitious.
Superstitious in what way?
For some people, I've turned out to be rather a blessing, and there are others that have called me a storm crow. So, make of that what you will.
Interesting. Well, I'm certain one way or another I can make sure the fair wind blows my way.
Fair enough. Although it's an interesting time for you to enter the city. I don't know if you've heard, but there is basically a civil war brewing. Brewing? Beg your pardon. The light has already been set. It's just now probably going to be a succession of bangs, if you catch my drift.
Interesting. Well,
You know what? Because I feel like a good neighbor, I'll give you a bit of an overview.
I'd appreciate it if you don't mind.
No. Don't see any reason to make another kindred's existence unnecessarily unpleasant, especially if they are actually behaving like a normal person towards me and are being nice and cordial. Why not? Okay, so word on the street is that the Carthian movement and the Lancea Sanctum, or at least a certain part of them, have entered into an alliance to protect themselves from the overbearing behavior of the Invictus, or to be more precise, the Invictus government, and certain members of the Order Dracul. Not all of them, I would like to stress.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Word is also that very specific members of the Order Dracul were working with the current prince to create berserkers. Are you familiar with that term?
What was that one more time?
Well, So word on the street is that the local government has got a secret prison called the Shard, at which the bottom levels, kindred, are being experimented on. Their blood is being tampered with. Probably at least some of the original origins of the drug Violet, which has been causing us trouble, probably originates from there. Poisoning of herds, but all kinds of Dr. Mengele kind of shit going on. And also the creation of berserkers.
Berserkers?
Kindred whose vitae has been tampered with to make them more effective on the battlefield, but with the downside that most of them tend to go mad in relatively short order, and supposedly they were banned from being created at least 20 years ago when the last conflict raged in London. However, I have it on very good authority that especially the last part wasn't kept.
No, I would say not, especially if experimentation is still going on. That is some word on the street, all right.
As far as the last piece goes, and he moves in closer, I know about the berserkers because, shock horror, I am one of them.
And yet you don't seem to be berserking, so clearly you haven't gone mad yet.
Correct. I seem to be one of the lucky ones. Plus, just between you and me, I managed to get away from the guy I thought who was my sire, probably before he could finish his conditioning. So, really lucky. And I even bumped into another fellow, a gangrel. But, yeah. I felt the connection, and he was able to fill in some of the blanks that I wasn't aware of. So, yeah.
How many berserkers are there out and about, do you know?
Out and about, only the fellow who controls a part of Wandsworth and myself, at least of which I know of.
But you can sense each other? You can sense something upon meeting?
Now, here's the funny part. He's a gangrel, I'm a Ventru. But, because both our vitae was tampered with, weirdly enough, it feels as if I had a familial bond with him. Which has never happened to me out of clan.
No, it doesn't seem to be a very common thing to have happen out of clan.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm not terribly enthusiastic about the twisted mofos who think it's fine to do what they did to me. Just because I don't have memories of it doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't do it.
No, there's nothing that would make that okay.
Oh, and yeah, Julian, feel free to intro.
A voice will call out and say, telling everybody the life story of the city. A larger man in picture kind of shows up.
Ah, excellent. Yes, I thought since she was Carthian and new to the city that I'd give her quickly the lowdown so that she knows what kind of a shit show she's just walked into. Pardon my French.
No offense taken.
He'll look over to the new arrival and present his hand. Uh, I'm Julian T. Goodman.
Good to meet you, Julian. I'm Lenny. It's short for Eleanor.
So, well, nice to meet you, Lenny.
And as he said, I'm part of the Carthian movement, member of Clan Deva.
Ah. And he thinks, and there's a moment of interest, not maybe of thinking on his head, and then now on his face. Can't talk today. You're the fourth or fifth serpent I've seen in the city. Actually, that wouldn't be the case. There's dozens of you, but you're the only ones I've actually talked to.
Serpents. Let me guess, that's a nickname for Davis?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, I don't even want to know what the nicknames for Ventru are.
Oh, it's Blue Bloods. It's pretty simple.
Okay. Could have got off worse.
Could have, but I'm actually pretty content being a serpent.
Mm.
But yes, normally I don't like to talk about a lady's age, but I'm going to be very gauche this time and just let you know, Julian, she's got a good handful more winters behind her than I have.
Well, as I probably assume you told her, you're a very special case.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess since then she brought it up, I am from Clan Gangrel, a member of the Ordo.
Delighted to meet you.
And he inclines his head to that. Well, I hope your arrival in London will be a fortuitous one. You'll have lots of opportunities right now.
Yeah. Something else I forgot to mention. There is a certain revenant population in this city, and the prince declared a bit more than a month back that he basically wanted them genocided.
Interesting.
In those folks that of all people would need our help, and he's got no better idea than to stamp them out as if they were Jews in Nazi Germany. Let's just say I'm not a fan of that either.
No, I can see that, and I can understand why.
For the most part, you shouldn't have to worry about it.
But yes, I've met some of them, and on the whole, a kind of don't try to end my unlife, and I will not try to end your unlife. Plus, I think
I like to think that's a starting point for positive relations.
How does my voice sound now?
Better, thank you.
The main thing is you should know about right now is I'm pretty sure he told you that the city is somewhat in a turbulence right now, civil war. Be careful and see what you can attain from the civil war yourself.
I heard people wanted to talk about Jesus.
Oh my. Okay. I would say at that very point, the door of an unnamed bar in Kingston upon Thames swings open, and I'll let the ringmaster take the scene.
Hang on, I have to wait for I have to see if my posse are coming with me.
Oh, you mean your insane clown posse? Just a sec. Device not connected. What the? Okay, there we go.
And now give me 10 seconds to see if my childer is coming. Low key, because this is the last downtime we're getting beats, we're trying to farm them.
Oh, you don't say. It's fine. Totally legit.
I only need 3 more beats to get another XP, and then we can say bollocks to the whole beat system.
Yes. No, it's fine. I wasn't much better. I've already got my scene beats. How do you say, maxed out for the month anyway.
But yeah, at this point in time, the door will open, and you will see 2 or 3 individuals stride into the bar. There is actually, it is a trio of individuals stride into the bar. Joshua will be walking, and he is much physically better than he was a few days ago, now only walking with a slight limp, favoring his left side. So he doesn't... Hey, Charlie, he doesn't need to use you as a human crutch anymore. Winning!
Thank God.
But yeah, he's very obviously leaning on his cane for support. But yeah, I'll let the others do their intros. So yeah.
Can somebody go first? I'm not really sure what I'm walking into.
Okay.
We're basically going to a bar in Kingston.
Yeah. A man walks in alongside Joshua. He is wearing like black jeans, a black hoodie, even a pair of black trainers. But when you look in the hoodie, it's white and black fit, like clown makeup with a red painted nose. Exactly as the picture on the screen depicts. He looks oddly creepy. Like, clowns generally look creepy. He gives a general sense of ick. A general sense of he will stab you in the night. You'll then sit down next to Joshua. Charlie, you're up.
God damn it. So Charlie will come in, probably, just walking alongside everybody. I would say she's rather striking, but among the trio, she probably just looks like she fits in. Black hair and a shaved sides and a mohawk. She's just kind of like got a polite smile on her face. Will walk in and take a seat on the other side of Joshua.
On a side note, hi Rowan. Hi.
Anyways, so your trio will be seeing a different trio made up of Mr. Goodman, of Lenny, and of Marcus, who are chatting away very friendly and quite jovially.
Goodman will turn around to see Baneforth and last one, incline his head to him, and he'll incline his head to Charlie, but he doesn't do such of a gesture to Farthingale. It's more of a general wave with his hand.
Farthingale will nod quietly.
And he'll look back to Baneforth and say, "You following us now?"
Joshua kind of quirks an eyebrow as he takes the offered seat in between Farthingale and Charlie. Probably somebody else would probably have dragged the seat out for him because he really does need the cane for its support before he very gently seats himself down on the chair and crosses his legs. He'll say, "Not at all. I merely wanted a conversation." If I wanted to observe you, Mr. Goodman, I wouldn't be seen. And he points at Farthingdale. I probably have him do it.
Evil Nosferatu wink.
So, just wasn't expecting to see you. We don't typically hang out in the same places.
Well, no, but you shouldn't be hanging out in public.
The unfortunate thing is people have short memories. As long as the police don't see me, no one's going to look for me.
Yes, well, you did me a favor, and so I came to offer a favor in exchange. I'm a man who believes that God's work is not necessarily easily done, but must be reciprocal in its nature.
I thought your sense of absolution, at least that particular bargain, was your favor to me.
He contemplates that for a long moment, and he'll say, I believe God has more work for you, Julian Goodman. And so I'm here to make sure that that work continues. You can choose to doubt if you want. That's your business. But I'm here to offer you the same offer that I made to Mr. Irons.
As I appreciate your odd sense of faith into me or your devotion to your God, I can't take it. At least not to that level.
No, you misunderstand me. I'm not offering you a place in our faith or our congregation. I'm offering you a new face, Mr. Goodman.
Oh, Marcus did talk about that.
Yeah, let's just say in all the hubbub, I actually never got to ask what the good ringmaster would want in return.
I don't particularly want anything in return.
That would be rather welcome.
Let's just say that, as I said, you stood with me when I required it, so I'll repay the favor. Mr. Goodman, actually, we have a Rowan back, I think.
Yep, my computer died. I'm sorry. I'm back.
Okay. Did you hear this weird circus troupe doing its intro, or did you not?
I heard like 2/3 of the weird circus troupe.
There's also Charlie, who's like the normal part of the weird circus troupe. But
We've got the clown, the cripple, and the normie.
That is deeply offensive.
She's
Yeah,
a punk,
I mean-
God damn it.
I was gonna say, you don't call my daughter a cripple.
What?
But
Asshole.
I mean, to be fair, I was calling Joshua a clown, but there you go.
I mean, I guess along that line of logic, we could make it 2 cripples.
But what was I going to say? No, I was going to say for Rowan. So Joshua, if it is of interest, because I'm not sure what kind of scene she's in, he is an international celebrity. He basically controls this world's version of the Cirque du Soleil, except it's called a Cirque de Macabre. Fancy.
Well, that's
Okay.
fascinating.
I mean,
Beg your pardon?
I was going to say, if that is your scene, hi, I'm also kind of famous. I'm his sometimes lovely assistant.
Good to know.
But Joshua will turn his head to the new blood, as it were, and he'll say, "And who is this?"
May I introduce? That would be Eleanor of Clan Deva, Covenant, the Carthians.
Most people call me Lenny.
Well, where are my manners? I suppose I should do the full introduction. My name is Joshua Bainforth. I'm a bishop of the Lancea et Sanctum, and also a member of your clan.
Delighted to meet you then.
This is my childer, Charlie, he'll say as he squeezes her arm.
She'll wave and be like, it's real nice to meet you.
Good to meet you as well.
And this is Farthingdale.
He will simply nod.
But yes, Mr. Goodman, I came here to see if you'd be interested in a new face. Because frankly, you are really running the gauntlet here. People have long memories, and the police. The police mightn't have cared if you killed, or rather, if somebody else had died, but they tend to care a lot when some of their own meet their end. So I'm willing to give you this out.
There is a long pause hearing that. And for a moment, he looks like he's about to open his mouth and he closes it. Then he opens it again and say, I need to live with this face. What
You
I,
see Joshua shrug.
yeah, what I do may be forgiven or even forgotten about in time. But I need to always remember what I did. And my face will be a reminder of that.
I take it that you, Mr. Irons, would still like to take me up on my offer.
I won't lie. I've been ringing with myself and that decision, and but in the end, I was reminded of something very, very important. So, I haven't been hearing back from my other contacts who could have told me more clearly how much I might be on the police's radar. It might not seem like that, but you can't be sure. Then again, maybe Marcus Irons needed to die a long time ago. So, yes, I'll take you up.
We're currently refurbishing our theater and our ritual space. So, in a couple of nights' time, come by and I'll see to it that it's done.
Yeah. Well, then again, I doubt you can do worse than this mug. And he gestures to his face.
Don't be so sure, smirks Farthingale.
I mean, I used to think that there were two things you could rely on: death and taxes. And as far as the first one goes, I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, as far as I understand it, the Invictus still make sure we pay our taxes.
Oh, don't get me even started. No, seriously, my patience is growing very thin for that covenant.
By the way, just to answer a question that I was asked by Lydia on Discord, because I can't really type at this point. Yeah, no, he's literally talking about using magic to change their faces.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Magic vicissitude.
Well, not really. What he was actually going to do is he was going to trade their faces with the faces of corpses.
Because the Lancare don't do anything simple.
Nope.
I honestly think I would have preferred just being super confused this whole time.
It's fine. I mean, would you like to go back to blissful ignorance? Sleep now. Shh.
Welcome to religion.
But that's that.
Joshua nods and he'll say, I am fortunate. Was it Lenny? That was the name?
Yep, that would be me.
You've joined us at a most interesting crossroads.
I've gotten that impression.
I already gave a rough overview of what kind of a shit show she's walking into.
Good.
Somebody has to be a good neighbor around here. So, anything else? people want to talk about, or should I maybe order some drinks or
Have you
anything to
given-
break this silence?
Have you given any more thought to what I said to you last time we spoke, Marcus?
I've been having a hard time not hearing your words hull through my head.
Say that again?
I've been having a hard time not remembering your words.
I'm glad they've stuck. The place is still open to you whenever you wish to take it.
Let's just say for this moment, if there is a fate for me, it'll transpire one way or another. And if not, listening to my heart and sticking to what I think is right is probably still the best course of action.
May I
It
tell you?
usually is.
May I tell you a story then? Mother-
Marcus just sort of shrugs his shoulders and goes, "Why not? Why not?"
It's a rather famous mortal parable, but I think it serves just as well. One day there is a great flood, covers a town, and a man stands on the top of his house, and one of his neighbors goes by in a boat and says, "Quickly, come with me, I will save you." And the man says, "No, I have no need. If I am to be saved, I will be saved. I have no need of your help. I trust in myself." That boat leaves, and a little while later the water has raised higher, and this time a ship sails by. And the captain of the ship says, "Quickly, come with me, you will soon surely drown." And the man once again says, "I have no need of you. I trust in myself and my own wisdom, and I am safe while I remain here. I have no need of you." Soon, as the water reached so high, the man could no longer stand, but had to paddle above his house. A small child came past, gripping onto a log, and said, "Quickly, please, take hold of my log. Share it with me, and we will be safe together." And once again, the man said, while paddling, "I will be fine. I trust in myself. I have no need of you or your log. I shall be fine. Go on and swim away." Within hours, the man had drowned. And when he reached the next world, he said unto the angels and gods and demons all amassed around him, "Why did you not save me? Why did you fail me? Why did the universe fail me?" And the man was told, "We sent to you first a boat, and then a ship. And then when we thought your pride too great, we sent even a child unto you. But you refused all our gifts, all our offers, and chose to stay with your own pride, and thus it killed you. What more could we have done?" And thus the man learned that pride can often slay you, while being willing to accept a place with others, even if it makes you feel a little less proud of yourself, can often save you.
"So you think me prideful?" And he looks at Farthingdale with incredulity.
I think that a man who believes that his own self-knowledge is sufficient to understand every path and nuance of his life is a man who forgets that he stands at one side on one point of a path that he cannot truly see what was before or what is yet to be. He sees only one light amidst many, and yet he mistakes those lights for constellations that are not there, because he fears to embrace the magnificence of the true constellations around him. You wish to see that you have some control, some power over your life, because then you can tell yourself that it is either your fault or not your fault, that your choices shaped who you are. Believe me when I tell you it is not that case. But the truth is that in the end, your choices are few. The world shifts around you, and often your only choice is whether to place faith in that which is offered to you, rather than refusing it because you have trust in something else.
Julian has as the best word to describe it is a skeptical look on his face. Not that he didn't hear Fardendale, it's just there's obvious conflict with his words.
Marcus takes a very long look at Farthingdale. It's not really aggressive. It's not even demeaning. It's more the look of a man who is very carefully choosing his words. And disappointment? Difficult to say. Then finally he speaks. It's not that I don't have faith, or at least I try to have. It's not that I'm actually striving towards what you describe. Far from it. From the little that I do know, I feel more confirmed. My hesitance comes more that I'm not a fan of dogma. I'm not a fan of overly organized religion, because I've seen where blind fanaticism can lead people. I have seen with my own eyes where that can lead. I had to fight people who blindly, absolutely blindly followed dogma, limbs chopped off, children killed, children convinced to attack soldiers and in the process being horribly killed, and all kinds of other manners. People thrown off the top of rooftops just because of the way they were born and the preferences that they had, and they didn't have any choice about. I'm not necessarily saying that you do that, but if I were to join, I've got the feeling others might try to force me into that, and I don't want any truck with it.
Do you know the difference between what we in the Lancashire believe and what you call blind dogma? And he tilts his head slightly to one side. There is no mortal faith upon this earth who can prove what they speak. None of them who can show that what they believe has real power and force. Faith has power, perhaps, but their beliefs, no. No Christian, no Hindu, no Taoist or Shinto priest, no tribalist or shaman can produce, through faith alone, the same sort of wonders the Lankea produces through faith. Those of the crone are said to produce such feats through shamanic power. I am reasonably certain that what they do is an act of will. The Lankea's power is born of the fact we have seen our faith proven and our God shown true. We are not blind. Every Lankea expects proof of our faith, confirmation or denial, and we have seen confirmation. Otherwise, what is the worth in believing in something you cannot prove?
I thought that's why it's called faith.
Faith is a willingness to trust in something greater than yourself, but blind faith is doing so when you have no reason to believe that thing greater than you is there to begin with. I have faith that my God watches me, that he counts my every deed, that he wishes good for me, but I also know he is there. And that makes all the difference, Mr. Goodman.
There is again, now a look of scrutiny on his face. Your statements, as I believe that you believe them, they ring hollow in my ears because all faiths have a similar statement. I don't see it.
Yes. If that's what you believe, that faith has a hollow statement. And what has a more realistic statement? Something that has stood as a bastion and a pillar for over 2,000 years, or the ravings of a single prince of a now forgotten principality who had a passion for impaling people on wooden sticks?
He may have had his issues and anger, which I'll tell you right now, if he was here, he would not take those words kindly, as our leader is very much alive and well, moving around this world.
You've met the dragon personally?
So, no, but we hear his stories and we see his reports.
So what you're telling me is that your belief system is based on hearsay, second-hand information, and the words of others. When I can say to you right now that if you and Marcus and this young lady, whose out of character name entirely escapes me, were to go with us to our temple, we could show you a demonstration of our faith. And you would have 1,000 years, if you needed it, to test for every conceivable mechanism and trick. And you would find not a hint of deception, simply proof of what we believe. For your own eyes, first-hand witnessed. No hearsay, no second-hand testimony, no stories from a land you cannot visit. Personal, witnessed testimony.
So, I never deny your people's powers, no different from the crone. I very much believe they can speak to their gods and their demons, no different than you can speak to your gods and your angels. I just choose not to put my faith in them.
Farthingdale, this is not a debate that, frankly, I have any interest in continuing. They will either come to the truth. They will either come to the truth or they won't. We can only shepherd the willing and guide those who have eyes that are open. In time we will punish those who walk blind.
Perhaps. And he looks at each of them in turn, but in particular, he locks eyes for several seconds with Julian and Marcus as he says, "But every soul we fail to save is a lead weight upon my neck, and I am ashamed of each failure."
I think the only way to describe how Marcus is looking is conflicted.
Julian has a genuinely kind of solemn look on his face, but there is resolution behind it. He'll look at Farthingale and simply say, "I wish that one day you will never have to feel that again."
And perhaps one day I will be able to stand before my God and know that my accounting is good. But there are enough sins upon my soul, Mr. Goodman. Souls I may never wipe clean. Sins I may never be rid of.
Where is that skulking, gangly creature you tend to hang around with?
Well, that depends. I don't typically have any creatures.
What's his name? Ugh.
I have a feeling you're referring to Nikolai, which he may be gangly, but he is no creature.
Well, not more of a creature than we are.
If anything, he's probably doing what he normally does, listening and watching.
That is deeply disconcerting.
He is what he is.
Yes. You are aware that my covenant will, in the next few days, be actively moving to engage with yours.
That's gonna be the awkward part. I don't know. Like I said at our last meeting, I don't know what side I'm on right now.
Mm.
All I can say is I will stand with the Ordo, and I hope I stand with the Ordo that is doing the right thing.
I I really don't mean for this to come off as like condescending or something. But at the end of the day, you're the only one who can decide what the right thing for you is. And I truly hope that you make a decision based on what you think is right in your heart rather than what your covenant's doing.
He nods to that.
For example, Mr. Goodman, you know that your covenant developed the drug that you yourself were investigating.
Yes, yes, I do.
Do you know why they invented it?
I'm assuming they were hired to do it, but
Correct.
other than
It was
that,
as a means of controlling kindred feeding and possibly, well, enlarging and or being able to cull and identify herds and populations of kindred. I read the reports on it when I was still in Archon.
he nods his head and he'll respond, "That sounds about right. It's something that we do."
You're also aware that your covenant were breeding and have been breeding the prince, what I will refer to as, what was the term again, Master Irons?
Berserkers.
Again, Julian nods. I said, not beyond us.
I'm curious how it is that you, an individual whom I believe has some semblance of ethics, could support individuals whom are willing to do such monstrous things.
In all honesty, if they were more ethical about those type of experiments, I would have no opinion. The fact that they are utterly abusing people to get these results, to the point that the city not only notices but is in fear and is disrupting our very sense of status quo, puts a poor taste in my mouth.
I feel the hand of an individual who has been simply known as the Wolf in much of this.
And that's another thing that's an issue.
Behind Marcus's eyes there is a small bestial fire that flares up for a few seconds before it is put back into its box.
I have no reason to hide this because that's just simply not my nature. But as far as the wolf is concerned, he is a powerful resource. One that I've even been recommended to use once the time was right.
And a ruiner of existences. I have spoken with what I can only describe as a stepbrother of mine. He has memories of what the wolf did to him. And it's just not right. To drag someone off the streets, knocking them over, torturing them, doing all manner of things to them, and then throwing them into a conflict without even having the decency to tell them why. That goes against. So that just rubs me so wrong in so many ways you guys can probably not even really imagine. Because it's one thing to willingly go to war and to sacrifice for your people what you think is right. But something like that.
I will say, Mr. Goodman, in the next few days, I have no doubt the Carthians will make good on their agreements and they will storm the Bastille in the form of the Shard. I would wait until I will make sure. I would hope they will storm the Bastille in the form of the Shard. I would wait and hold off until you make your decision as to where it is you will stand, until what has been concealed there comes to light. I could tell you in words. I could paint a picture for you with them. However, I feel as though even I do not possess the vernacular to describe the cavalcade of horrors that is that place.
He nods his head. And he'll simply say, I never once, ever since I've been put into the fold, denied what my covenant and what I am. I just tried to make the best of it.
I do apologize, my dear, he'll say, turning to the new Carthian and saying, we discuss such heavy matters in the front of a new face. You shall have to forgive us.
When heavy matters need to be discussed, they need to be discussed.
Lenny, that was it, right?
Yes.
What is it you do?
I'm a people person.
Kind of blinks. He points at his shoulder. This is my people person.
Charlie, like, when you mention people person, just has, like, this look of absolute delight, like, we're gonna get along so well.
Isn't
Then he just sort
people
of
person
grins
just
back at
a
Charlie.
isn't people person just a modern euphemism for, well, the way vegetarians eat carrots? It's like the word humanitarian? Or am I misunderstanding that?
My point is that I know a lot of people, and I tend to get along with a lot of people.
Our particular gifts of our clan make it particularly easy to get along with people.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. It would appear as though my covenant and yours have decided to be friends in what will come, so I am pleased to meet you.
Likewise, I'm sure.
You shall have to consider to attend one of our services.
I will make a point of it.
If nothing else, they're excellent places to meet people. Many of the older and more powerful kindred of the city come to at least pay lip service.
Then I will make a point of being there. When is your next one?
He kind of looks at Farthingdale, like, kind of like, I think I'm holding a black mass on Sunday.
Yes, I think so.
Where are we doing that?
I
Or
use it.
the
We do
building's
it in
gonna
the
be ready
temple.
by then.
We do them in the Temple of Damnation.
Yes, however, that's currently not exactly ready to receive company. I'll more than likely use one of the older abandoned churches that I have access to.
Reasonable. Then I will be sure to be there.
The Invictus decided to send in their thugs in order to try and take me by force in the last few nights, so my home is somewhat in a state of disrepair.
Interesting.
There was a bit, yeah. You know what? I'm feeling generous today. Yeah, the siege of the circus happened there. There's a reason why it got badly banged up. Mind you, the people who were there and defending themselves had given them fair warning.
I'm led to understand about 30 people on their side lost their lives during that little engagement, so we did bloody their nose.
That is one way of putting it.
Well, let's not forget the rhino and the tiger. They fought very valiantly.
It's a
We still have to
shame.
find that rhino.
Yes. Has anyone seen Sir Stumps?
You're really calling it that.
Marcus
That's
just looks worried. I beg your pardon. There might be a familiar rhino. What? No. If that were the case, the media would have picked up on that long ago.
Unless one of us was suppressing the media picking up on that fact.
Yes. Like, for example, experienced kindred who are talented with media matters, such as circus people, might do on a regular basis.
In all honesty, I haven't actually been suppressing anything, but no. I'll ask Isabel where it is, or I'll ask Dr. Moreau where it is the rhino currently is. It survived the battle, I believe.
Do you know
Oh,
what
that's
happened to our
nice.
tiger?
What was that? Sorry, Lid?
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
What happened to Fluffles the tiger?
I don't know.
Last time I saw him, he was being ripped apart by incendiary fire while ripping somebody's larynx out.
I really hope he survived. He was quite cute.
We can get
Cute
another one.
is not the term I would have used. Awesome probably would have been more descriptive.
Well, they invaded a circus. What did they expect to get?
And to be fair, Marcus, Dr. Moreau has always had quite a talent for getting the creatures to not want to eat me. It's quite pleasant.
Considering they really, the animals don't particularly dislike you.
They like me better than humans tend to, which is always nice.
Mm.
Except for that one pelican on the Thames. Keep being chased by it.
Oh, well, birds are just mean in general.
Well, what do you expect? They're the descendants of raptors.
I don't mean birds in general. It's this one pelican.
Maybe
If
he
it
doesn't
helps,
like
It's
your
a familiar.
makeup.
If it helps, when we were doing, do you remember when we were doing this tour? When we were doing the tour of the southern states about a year and a half ago, Farthingdale, and I believe that it was just before I decided to embrace Charlie. She ended up getting in an almighty fight with a parrot, and I wasn't exactly sure who was attacking who by the way the parrot was screaming.
Ah, yes, that parrot didn't stop screaming obscenities for a month.
Mhm.
That parrot was very rude.
I believe his favorite phrase was "I'm gonna punch that mohawk bitch." Rap.
Yeah. I never thought I'd hear a pelican scream the words, "Don't you dare put your filthy hands on me."
Are you sure that wasn't a gangrel just in disguise?
No, it was just a parrot. Very well trained parrot.
Oh, sorry, I meant the pelican.
Oh, the pelican. I'd never actually checked. Though I did once catch it trying to eat a baby.
Miss Lorraine. Is it Lorraine or Rowan? Sorry.
Eleanor, technically, but I think she likes to go by the moniker Lenny.
You are correct.
Lenny. By the way, on a side note, hey Lenny, in the event I die, I'm gonna come back as a vampire named Carol, so it can be Lenny and Carol.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
More blatant Carthians.
There is a particular person, if you see, and he describes a particular Russian woman. If you see her, and he will pass over a note to a phone number. Call my number. I'll take care of her.
Are you talking about what's her name?
Miss Belenka.
Ah, yes. Depending on what happens, depending on what actually happened, you can see Joshua contemplate for a few moments. There are many questions I feel need to be answered about that.
Indeed. I worry about her safety. This particular person, Natalia Belenka, has been marked for death. I feel that it is
Well,
it is ill done.
or an incredibly clever ploy.
Yes, we've had this discussion before.
Yes, there's nothing to say that she's not meant to be a plant in one of our organizations. After all, it's not like her memories could not have been tampered with, her mind could not have been rewritten, and this could all be a cover story so she can embed herself into one of our particular sects.
That's the perfidious thing about Dominate. If you get good enough in it, you can write false memories into people's heads, or you can even delete them. If you do, if you're a particularly nasty piece of work, you can condition somebody over ages and ages and literally make them your creature. And Marcus visibly shudders at the mention of that. He is clearly not comfortable with that concept.
Charlie will kind of furrow her eyebrows and then say, well, okay, if that's the case, maybe we shouldn't necessarily assume that's what's happened. You should always extend your hand first before trying to kick somebody's face in. And if that is the situation, take care of her, make sure she's not gonna go out and get herself into trouble, and either A, try to reverse it, or B, just keep an eye on her. Give her the information you want to, but you don't necessarily have to let her die, especially if you don't think it's right.
I mean, being realistic with you, my dear, he'll say, turning to his shoulder, we don't know what she did to be blood hunted by the sheriff. Admittedly, the sheriff is not high on my list of people I enjoy talking to currently, but it's entirely possible he may have legitimate reason, and there may be legitimate reason for the hunt.
I
Do you
mean,
know? Oh, sorry.
there was legitimate reason when they were trying to kill me.
That actually causes Joshua to stop. You see the kind of his very kind of off crimson eyes, which are actually contact lenses, blink twice because of course he's that kind of weirdo who has red contact lenses. He kind of just blinks twice before he'll shrug and he'll nod and he'll say, "Maybe so. Maybe so."
And let's not forget, dominate's not the only way to get people to do what you want you to do. Majesty is just as insidious.
I think of dominate like a scalpel. I think of majesty like a sledgehammer.
Don't you mean
Seems
the
like
other
a
way around?
reasonable analogy.
Is it? Julian says, "Don't you mean the other way around?"
No.
No.
I find that odd.
Just because he can, just to prove a point. Hey, Joshua's going to put on awe.
Why you gotta do that? Because now my merits start activating.
He's still so pretty.
Father, I was really tempted to hit back by activating his nightmare.
Quick, all the Davids activate awe.
Quick reminder: you are in a bar that hasn't been clearly declared as safe for kindred. Yes, you are now 6 people around a table in the most corner, but don't forget at this point, since Joshua's put awe, basically all the heads are turning to him and looking at us, at which point Marcus, with a half dreamy expression, sort of, careful, I don't have any control over these people. This is not my home turf.
Joshua will smile before he'll say, "And this is why it's a sledgehammer," before he'll turn it off again.
Right. Who fancies a cigarette break? I definitely fancy a cigarette break. and he gives all of them a very come with me look.
Not so much come to bed as come to the street.
Yeah.
Joshua will take out a pack of cigarettes at this point. He kind of, does Charlie smoke?
Sure.
He'll give her a cigarette and he'll light it with he has one of those really neat kind of because obviously vampires don't like fire very much. He has one of those very neat kind of lighters you press in and it creates an incredibly hot flame, but it's all contained within a little area. So just kind of clicks it, lights the cigarette
So
for
5
her.
seconds later, the barman comes over and says, "Excuse me, sir, we don't smoke indoors."
I mean, I can activate awe again. That lets me get away with minor criminal infractions like smoking inside.
Yeah, it also lets you get away with being stared at by every single person in the bar and risking exposure.
I mean,
Joshua, please follow me.
All's actually super subtle, but yeah, no, it's fine.
You want puff puff, you go out.
He's not turning all on again, but yeah, no, he'll walk with I think we're all going on a cigarette break.
Yeah,
Except
I mean, if I, well, okay, fair enough.
Farthingale doesn't smoke.
You don't have to smoke. I think he just wants us to go to a private.
You know what? He'll actually offer Farthingale a chewing gum.
He'll take that.
Because you can chew it, you can remember the taste of gum, and you can spit it out, so you don't need to digest it or try to vomit it up later.
Indeed. Yeah, going out as a group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marcus breaks out the Lucky Strikes and offers them to anyone who fancies a Lucky Strike.
I know this sounds a bit pretentious, but I understand it's possibly just a mechanism for what you were before, but smoking isn't good for you, nor is it good for anybody else.
Well, good thing I'm not going to die of lung cancer anytime soon. He lights a cigarette with a normal flame and then offers one of the electric ones to the other kindred.
I smoked when I was alive. It's a habit I've continued.
It makes me feel as if I'm getting the nicotine rush, even though I know it's probably only a placebo.
Placebo effect is still in effect.
But yes, I wanted us out of there since we had drawn a certain amount of attention to us. Just in case anyone had some lingering effects there. And damn it, I wish I would have been embraced with such long hair. That looks awesome. He points to Joshua.
Joshua shrugs.
But yes, are there any other points we need to cover? Or are there any other questions lingering in the, I would like to say room, but this is an alleyway.
You really want to look over to Lenny and say, do you still work or do something a bit more, let's say, specialized?
I mostly work on getting people to handle things for me as needed.
So you're a manager.
Yes.
I was once. But these days I have to reinvent myself.
Yeah. Oh, that actually reminds me, and sorry, you two continue talking. I'm actually happy to see that you're doing better, Joshua. You were in a right state when our little party had to flee in different directions.
Yes, well, I've had time to recover myself, and I'm one of the few kindred, I think, who's faced the sheriff and lived. Admittedly, it wasn't necessarily my power that enabled me to do so, but I have now proven the fact that the arts of the Lankea can bring him to a standstill.
It only took literal divine intervention to save you.
God clearly has plans for me.
I have to say, there is something to be said when you do a good deed and for a change you actually get rewarded for it and not punished.
The Synod and our bishops, we stick together, even though we may disagree on matters of doctrine and we may disagree on other matters. When anyone strikes at one of us, they strike at all of us. We will respond in kind.
Yeah. Well, turns out somebody I helped without any expectation of repayment did show up and did help me escape. So that's that.
Yes, we were sorry. As I said, I was in no fit state to refuse when it was we were offered the safe escape that we were given. So I would have taken more of you with me, but there wasn't really the option as it wasn't my portal.
It's okay. The person who showed up and allowed me and my small group to flee. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to say she's doing fine. I was actually hoping of her not to show up and stay out of the conflict, but that's the way of the world.
When do children ever truly do what we want them to do? He will say, totally not giving Charlie a slightly judgmental look.
She just kind of like gives a face of like, yep, no, I know exactly every single incident you're referring to, and I am actively ignoring your face right now.
If none of you object, I'm going to head back to the circus.
No,
I have a few things I want to oversee while the work's still being done.
Oh,
knock
yes,
yourself out.
I was going to say, I did mention we're having the building completely restored, redecorated, and reconstituted.
Happy to hear it. It was a very nice building, and I have to say I'm slightly impressed on how much damage it swallowed before things got a little bit more hairy. I'm also happy to say Rusty lives. I managed to get him out of Dodge before it got really serious.
Ah, that's good. Yes. I shall bid you all a pleasant evening. Charlie, Joshua, I shall see you later.
I shan't be too much longer, I should think.
And Marcus.
Yes?
I know what I've said might have seemed a little harsh, but believe me when I say, none of it is meant as an insult to you, nor the lessons my faith and the practice of it have taught me. Wisdom comes in strange places, my friend.
And
Simply
more
wish
than
not to
one.
tell them. Have a pleasant evening. And with that,
You too.
he'll bow to you all and stroll off into the night. In part because I need to go to bed.
Go for it.
Night all.
See ya.
Hey.
Night. If I claimed to be a wise man, that would just show that I don't know. For anyone who knows the song Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas, yeah, he just quoted that song. Sometimes it feels the only way to progress in this existence is just to move on, just to carry on, no matter what it throws at you.
I mean, yeah, there's kind of. What else are you gonna do?
Mm.
And that's not just this existence. That seems to be most existences.
I have to say, in some way, when I was alive, yeah, things were shittier, but in another way, they were way simpler.
I mean, that was when you were alive, and to be frank, that's you're not alive anymore. So things are gonna get more complicated. It's already complicated to be technically a walking corpse, and then everything else associated with it.
It's a different way of living.
Yeah, it's just part of the gig.
Mm.
But I mean, oh no, you go.
Julian kind of not necessarily frowns, but a contemplative look hits his face.
Let's just say some of us had less choice in the matter than others.
So it was kind of shrug.
No matter what life you live in, adapt or die.
Mm,
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I am also going to go to bed, so Josh will politely excuse himself and follow Farthingdale, I think.
yeah, that's cool.
Valid.
He is late.
Good night.
Good night.
He will basically put money behind the bar so you can all drink on him for the evening.
Sweet. Marcus is probably just going to pocket it and leave about a tenth of it. Nah, he's not going to do that.
No worries. I'll talk to you guys later.
He'll only pocket like a fifth of it. God damn it, man! I've got ghouls to feed. But nah, it's okay. Yeah. Marcus puts out the cigarette and sort of. Frankly, every time I think I've figured it out how this gig goes, it just gets weirder.
That
What-
sounds accurate.
And sometimes also more disturbing. But then again, maybe I haven't just been a kindred for long enough.
There are always new ways to be disturbed. It's very exciting.
And there are those of us who delight in finding new and exciting ways to disturb everybody.
There always is someone.
It would be nice if there wouldn't be the equivalent of war crimes involved, but sure.
I mean, we have the opportunity to change that. Like, even in life, there are people, I don't want to necessarily say committing war crimes, but there are people doing horrible things, and we're given the opportunity and the unique ability to do something about that. And as life gets more complicated and we get the opportunity to make more mistakes and graver sins, we also have the opportunity to come back from that and at least try to do right by the people we've hurt.
That's what I've been trying to do all this time. That's the reason I didn't. That's the whole reason why I'm still here, and I didn't just stake myself and let myself out for the sun after I properly figured out what I was and had the possibility to. It's because I've got people who I'm responsible for that mean something to me. And also, I really don't like tyrants. I really don't like people who want to make slaves of all of us.
That's something that a lot of people could agree on, I would hope.
Well,
They
a lot
typically
of people.
do till they do it themselves.
Yeah. Then again, in my experience, many prefer to sell their freedom for a small piece of security, not realizing that by doing that, they forfeit any right to both. Security, to a certain extent, in my eyes, is a lie. Freedom, now that is something that I can grasp.
Indeed.
We're both as mercurial, in my opinion. No one is free or secure as you think you are.
That simply means there's more to be improved on both.
Indeed. Just
Anyways, I think attention to our group should have reduced by now. If you want, we can go back in.
no reason to really at this point. It's not like we can get cold or
Well,
hot, at least in the same
Mhm.
sense.
The
Yeah,
flashiest one of us left.
that's true. Although I have to say, he definitely has a good taste in chowder.
Aww.
Let's just say, as a freshly baked sire, I think I can slowly empathize.
I will admit, um, I have not been the easiest child to be sire to. This past week, yeah, it's been about this week that I've been a bit of a problem child.
Yeah, maybe. Then again, nah, you actually do remind me of my childer in some aspects. Except that you're definitely more chipper. But then again, I really can't blame her. She was a revenant for years before I came across her.
That's real unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, she came through and showed me a way how to escape. So that's that. If once things have come down and whatever higher power permitting spares me long enough, I hope I'll be able to be a better sire to her than mine was to me. The goddamn prick. I hope he chokes on a bag of dicks.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, one half of me wants to strangle him.
And the other half?
Run him over with a truck.
Nice to see a bit of diversity in how you want to murder someone.
I'm not sure either of those will murder him, though. Honestly, it might just piss him off.
Or is that the goal?
Oh no. I first want to get some answers out of the bastard before I address the balance, before I take a life for a life he took away from me. And I'm not even necessarily talking about mine, but he killed somebody who was very, very important to me. I swore on that person's shallow grave that I would avenge him, and I'd be doubly damned if I don't try. But the city has a way of postponing my plans.
And it seems like there's more than enough to postpone plans going on.
Yes, as much as I would like to go on my little crusade of vengeance, there is more important work to do.
Cool.
And Harry probably would be haunting me in my daydreams if I didn't help.
I'm curious though, Charlie. Why did Bainsforth pick you?
I mean, I think it's just because I asked. I know this is a bit of a weird life to want to have, but there's a certain beauty and a certain joy in the nature of our existence and the things we're able to do and the things we're able to bring to other people.
He raises a very skeptical eyebrow to that.
That actually makes total sense to me.
Look, the way I see it, you can look at this in a couple different ways. You can do the whole, oh, we're monsters of the night, blah, 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 blah. And she'll do like the stereotypical like slacker wrist and like do that vampire thing.
Marcus can't help but chuckle at that.
And like, that's a way to think of it. And it's, I mean, in part it's true, but I prefer to think of it as we are people chosen through our own volition or not to have great power and extended lives, and it's our ability and it's our opportunity to do what we want with those. And part of that's business, part of that's taking down tyrants like the prince and making sure that horrible things stop happening to people who don't deserve it. But another part is we're able to perfect our arts to really just be a beacon of something to strive for. Like, we're dead, but we're not dead. We're still alive, or we are as long as we choose to be. And, you know, you say I'm so chipper, but at the end of the day, I'm like this because I want to be. I want to be happy, and it's not a sin to want that or to want that for other people.
It's not. I'm not saying that it is, and I'm not saying, excuse me, that you're saying that I wasn't. But the reality situation is, we are very powerful, very active parasites. We are not part of the natural order, not one bit.
We're not part of the wheel, that's for sure.
And if we were meant to be damned, we would be in hell already.
Uh,
Nah, I think we do a good enough job of creating our own hells.
I don't act this way to be a solemn killjoy. I act this way due to my own life experiences. So even back before I was like this, I was a savage before I joined the savages. I was a monster that was trying to just live the best day he could from every moment. I didn't know if I was going to live to the next day. And I took this condition out of respect and obligation to the person that helped me find a better way. But no them, nor them teaching me, nor I understanding deny what we are. We are monsters. Whether we want to be monstrous is our choice. Our choice to our eventual end. But I'm not going to choose to ignore it. I'm always going to look at it straight in the face and not simply, how I would say this, let that fear be a crutch or a burden to me, but more as a sign that I could always fall. I could always be worse.
Yeah, you can always be better too. I I understand that we can be monstrous and the beast is a part of all of us. And there are times where we succumb to it and we hurt people. I understand that. I've hurt people because I lost control. But what we do when we slip and in response to how we slip speaks more to what we are than our condition ever could.
And for the first time, for a long time in this evening, there's actually quite a hopeful smile on Marcus's face.
Well, let's crush that hopes. Where is this going on?
Kingston upon Thames. You remember that no-name bar where you stole some money from? We're in the back alley there. Some smoking and just chatting.
All right. you'll see Nicola stroll by the mouth of the mountain. Mouth of the alleyway. Reading something. Stop. Take a step back. Peek down the alleyway.
Marcus gives him a friendly wave.
Shuts his book. And starts strolling down.
Alright, guys, for those who haven't met him yet, that's Nikolai, a Meket of the Order Dracul. You have been warned.
Stuffs his book into the pocket as he starts strolling down. If anyone is curious or takes a peek, it's a worn copy of Watership Down.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
My internet just cut out for a hot second there.
That was weird.
Oh no.
Yeah. Julie would look
dear.
over to Nikolai and incline his head. Then he'll say, Baneforth called you gangly.
Well, I am really rather skin and bones, aren't I? Or, sorry, wrong accent. Whoa. I'm rather skin and bones, aren't I?
More that he's concerned that you were watching us.
I'm not always watching you folks, and I'm certainly not always watching this Baneforth. I have better things to do.
That's what I told him.
This being said, I believe I haven't had the honor of meeting these two lovely ladies. Duh.
You might have indirectly met the younger one, as he points to Charlie.
Tilts his head. Yes, she was at this meeting you held.
Well, if we haven't properly met, hi there. My name's Charlotte. Please call me Charlie. Clan Deva. It is a pleasure to meet you officially.
Did you say you're Lancium? I might have missed that.
Her name's
Out of
Charlie.
character.
Clan Deva. She is Lankea.
Yeah, you said I'm asking, did you say Lankea?
She did not, but there were.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll hold out his hand and just go, well, it is good to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you as well.
Given these territories' occupation, I can assume not in Invictus at the very least. Yeah?
Oh no, not at all. The Invictus and I don't really get along, given recent events.
I see. And then turns to the other one. Did he hear?
Mm-hmm.
And you be?
Yep. I am new. My name is Lenny, short for Eleanor. Also of Clan Deva. Also not an Invictus.
No. Rare to see Davis around here. Good to see the shiny and sparklies are getting out. Well, I must say, it is a pleasure not to be the youngest vampire in the city anymore.
I take it you haven't been here long either.
I was turned about, about half a year ago. So, What is going on? Or
Well, it seemed that we just most, at least some of us just happened to bump into each other. I was giving a few songs. Lenny was so nice to throw in some coins in my hat. We got talking. Mr. Goodman joined, and then before we knew it, we had the insane clown posse show up.
Only one of us is
Ugh.
a clown.
I know, but I wanted to say this sentence for weeks. So just let me have it, Charlie.
and how is Mr. Bainforth? All healed up, I hope.
Well, he didn't need to use his childer as a living crutch anymore.
He did lean somewhat heavily on a cane, though.
I mean, the cane's always there. It's just kind of part of the aesthetic.
Hopefully he heals up before
Before
anything
what?
else. Huh?
Before what?
Anything, before it goes, things get worse.
Oh, okay.
He is going to be, after all, probably one of the main targets in this, given what he's done.
Charlie just kind of like sighs, and it's very much a sigh of like acknowledging this and exasperation.
Drugs and goes. As he draws that you're probably the child they are referring to. Such is the life of having a famous sire.
Such is the laugh of choosing to stand in resistance against unjust rulers.
I find everyone here is a bit unjust.
Would that include yourself?
Of course.
I can respect a bit of self-reflection.
Anyone of our kind who claims to be pure is feeding you a line of bullshit. No offense.
I don't recall any of us really claiming to be pure.
Nope.
I think the vitae flowing in my veins is the very proof that I'm anything but.
So Julian will nod to his statement, to Nikolai's statement. Well, I must leave you people this fine evening. I hope the best from all of you. And I can only say to this, drink deep and think quickly. Yep. He will incline his head, kind of slightly bow to everybody, and he will begin to wander off.
Safe travels, friend, as he disappears.
Good luck.
Julian will kind of wave his hand as he leaves.
Yeah.
So, Miss Charlie,
Yes?
can I presume you were there the night of this whole strike?
Who
Oh,
wants to know? Marcus just interjects.
yeah, no,
Yes,
go
yes.
for it.
Well, you must tell me the story of what happened.
It seems like Marcus is more interested in that line of logic.
Very well. Mr. Storyteller.
Aw. But yeah, just call me God. That I'm fine. Marcus will do.
Actually, I'm calling in character. He's calling you storyteller because you like weaving stories. You can't deny that. Marcus always is the one to.
Marcus looks at Nikolai with some genuine confusion. Storyteller? Why?
You always
Because
have a story to tell.
Ah, you know what? You know what? Where I come from and my tradition, that's a compliment. Thank you. But yeah, are you just asking out of pure curiosity, or is there a deeper motivation behind it? And he locks eyes with Nikolai.
Well, there was a giant raid on. Gives a deadpan look and goes, "Well, there was a giant raid on a sorry on Kindred's Haven, not to mention the former Archon. It's the talk of the town." I think that alone warrants enough for curiosity.
I always wonder for whom you're collecting all that info. Yeah, I mean, sure, some of it is probably just your personal interest. But I've always wondered who might be the spy master behind you.
Tilts his head at that in confusion.
Marcus is happy enough with that reaction. Or maybe I'm just being paranoid. So yes, Charlie and I were at the siege of the circus, and I dare say we comported ourselves very, well, in Charlie's case, very womanly, and in my case, very manly.
Waves
And
his hand
yes,
for you to go on.
if you're curious who the sniper in the nest was, that was yours truly.
Sniper in the nest?
The one raining death from above.
I must tell you, I have not heard any of the story so far. Just that there was a raid.
Well, you know how, like, in a theater, they have rafters because you got to access all the spotlights and sometimes manually adjust the other lights?
Yes, I know where he was in the rafters, but I don't know why he was in the rafters. He said like I should go. Oh, he was a sniper.
Well,
But
there
I
was
have.
an attack on the circus,
Yep.
so we needed a sniper.
Okay. So he was sniping. Got it.
So the prince's forces showed up at the circus. We had fortified the place. The first wave came in, all of the mortals. Poor fuckers. We took care of them, and then the heavy artillery came in. And that's when the fight really got hairy. Heck, I was even able to get my hands on a few incendiary rounds, emptied at least a quarter or a third of a magazine into what I guess was one of the Deva Archons, and the guy still stood. That was
Interesting.
impressive, I have to say. Also the fact he didn't seem to freak out at the fire. Can't remember ever seeing him around Ordo areas.
I mean, I haven't seen him around either, but I've only met 2 other Archons before.
The Archons tend to keep to themselves.
They definitely strike me as the type where if you are meeting them, it's probably not in your best interest.
But yes, the second and the third wave came, and at the third wave, we realized that we had to try and evacuate the situation. G there made reasonably sure Joshua was able to get away. Let's just say one of my allies showed up against all expectations and showed me a way to get away. And that's the reason why a few nights later I showed up at, our little house sharing arrangement.
I see.
Out of character, yeah, since 1 or 2 nights, Marcus has shown up at the Worm's Nest and he's claimed one of the rooms.
Yep. Nikolai's there as well.
Yep. But yeah. That's that. As far as I know, none of our people, at least, died. No idea what happened to the familiar tiger. For that, you would have to ask somebody else. And it would seem that the familiar rhino survived.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, we definitely dealt them quite the blow. Although I still feel a little bit of pity for the poor security guards that got dragged into that. But then again, hey, it wasn't my idea.
They were given every opportunity to leave.
That's true. No, literally, Joshua was in the middle of the stage and declared it. It couldn't have been more obvious. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, who knows, maybe it's just a Ventrue thing, but if you've got retainers under you, you are also responsible for them. That's how I see it. But then again, I also used to lead men into battle, so maybe I've got a bit of an old-fashioned, outmoded way of looking at it.
Nod at this. Then goes, well, that certainly kicked off the war. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but at the same time, I am glad.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I went into that fight having made my peace.
I very much doubt I would have been of much use. Turns to Charlie. I'm a lover, not a fighter. And gives a goofy grin. The same grin he has on his mouth right there.
She will give him a lovely smile back and say, well, I hope you're ready for at least a little bit of a tussle. Seems like there's one coming your way.
Oh,
All of our
why
ways,
my way?
really. Yeah, like that whole bit where the prince sent people to attack us, and now that's gonna be a whole thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are gonna get dragged into that whole mess.
Yes, a lot of people who attract attention to themselves. I
I
make it my
recognize I
profession.
attract attention to myself. It's just kind of a part of who I am.
I make it a profession not to attract this sort of attention to myself. It's
Mm.
how do you Englishmen say it? Unprofessional.
Yeah,
No, that's
when
not the word. Taps his head, taps the side as he tries to think. Not unprofessional. Unhealthy.
I'm a performer. If I'm not attracting attention to myself, I'm doing something very, very wrong.
This is true.
Ah,
I would let you circus folks attract all the attention. And I will sneak around the shadows.
Sometimes a distraction can help with that.
Because apparently I'm a kid and that's all we do.
oh no, I'm sure you have hobbies.
And we're always watching, apparently.
Nah, quite frankly, I think that's only what most Meket want the other clans to think.
Perhaps.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I have to say, it definitely is a pleasure spending some time with you, Charlie, and definitely also spending some time with you, Lenny. If, put it that way, once all of this calms down, I actually was running the odd poker night at the Hammerhead already a few times. A place where kindred of different covenants could and clans could come together and just have a good old-fashioned poker game.
Mm-hmm.
Once this is over, I'll definitely send you guys a warm invitation.
I look
And
forward to it.
yeah,
I really appreciate that.
because I found sometimes it just helps you make yourself feel a little less monstrous by just doing mundane shit like that. That and I've already won twice in 3 games, so I'd be looking forward to plundering your pockets. He smiled, half jokingly. I'm joking, of course.
Aw, that's a shame. I was hoping for a little competition.
Oh, I can give you a competition if you want to.
Who said anything in life that was easy was fun?
True, true. There is something to be said about the struggle. And also, thank you for your more positive words. I think I just needed a slight pick-me-up. I won't lie, I would be able to walk in the sun for a bit and not lose myself to frenzy, but trust me, the sun still burns. So, as glorious as the day was, I'm not planning to repeat that anytime soon.
I would be very upset to find that you've gone into the sun. I find your company absolutely delightful.
Agreed.
It's not every night I get a compliment, so I'll take it. Yeah, come to think of it, I've organized a little ride for myself, but there would be place for 3 more. If you guys want, I could drop you off at places before I start heading home.
No, I'm good.
Very good.
I'm heading
Ladies?
this way anyways. And takes out his book again as he starts moving off.
Sure, I'll take a ride.
I think I'll make my own way, but thank you.
No problem. Well then, Lenny, was a pleasure. And he offers his hand again.
And again, she takes it.
Hope that I was more of a good luck bringer than a storm crow to you.
So far, so good.
We try to please. And he gives you a big, fat, cheesy smile.
Lenny's response is to grin.
Mm. Mm. I won't lie, you remind me of my ex. In all the good ways.
Certainly better than the bad ways.
And with that, Marcus, will actually offer his elbow to Charlie. Shall we?
It was a delight meeting all of y'all, and she will loop her hand into the crook of his elbow, almost like she knows exactly how to do this. And just give like a polite wave as they walk away.
And with that, I would say, unless there is anything else any players want to declare.
I think I'm good.
Cool. In that case, just let me quickly change one more other thing. I will wish the following. Thank you, viewers, for viewing. Thank you, for players, for playing. This was another scene for Vampire the Requiem, Requiem for London. See you next time.